Scientific names. So the purpose of this video is to actually explore a particular learning goal, which is to apply scientific names to different organisms. Scientific naming. All organisms are given a common name. That is the everyday term for the names of an organism, such as a cat or a dog. However, different languages usually have different common names for the same organism. For example, in Japanese, the common name given to cats is neko, while the common name given to dogs is inu. To prevent any confusion, scientists around the world refer to organisms using special scientific names. Sometimes the common names of organisms can also be misleading. Look at these three images we've got here. So, the one on the far left, it's a guinea pig. This organism is not from Guinea, which is originally from South America, nor is it a pig. In the center, we have a vampire squid. And no, it does not want to suck your blood, and neither is it a squid. And lastly, we have a ladybird. It's not married to a lord, therefore it cannot be a lady. Neither is it a bird. Luckily, scientific names help prevent any confusion among scientists. Pause this recording, and if you play this video in your activities, you can actually find out more about how scientific naming works. So go ahead and pause this recording, jump onto your activity and play that video there. Okay, so hopefully you've had a watch of that video and that has shed a bit more light onto scientific naming. So, when writing scientific names, it is important to, first of all, write the genus with a capital letter. So for example, on the left-hand side here, we've got what looks to be a tiger. So the genus is written in uppercase. So the P in Panthera is in capital. Secondly, write the species, in lowercase. So the species is Tigris, and we can see the T is in lowercase. And lastly, write the whole name in italics. So for something to be in italics, it just means it is slanted. One thing to remember is that the common convention when writing scientific names by hand is to underline the genus and species. So that's how we do it if we do it by hand, but if we are doing it electronically, a capital letter and the lowercase will suffice. So, from the video and this little introduction here, question 1 asks, scientists use a special system for naming organisms, and each scientific name has 2 parts. Whether you think it is true or false, that can be found in the video and the explanation just above here. So take a moment, pause this video, and you can try that out. Question 2. When coming up with a scientific name for an organism, it must include the kingdom and phylum, be unique, or use words from a common language such as English or Japanese. So once again, the answer for this you would have seen in the first half of the notes above. So pause this video and have a try of that. Moving on to question 3. The scientific name for cats is Felis domesticus. Felis is the something that the cat belongs to, while domesticus is the something. From the info above, please select either A, B, C, or D. So pause this video to give that a try. Okay, question 4. Why is it useful for scientists to give organisms scientific names instead of just using their common names? Pause this video and have a try. Moving on to question 5. The plain zebra belongs to the genus Equus and the species Quagga. Which of the following is the most acceptable way of writing its scientific name? A, B, C, or D? If you do get a little bit stuck, I recommend going back up to what we see on this screen now to help you out. So, take a moment, pause this video, and select one of the most appropriate answers. With question 6, you are told that the scientific name for the spotted jellyfish on the left here is what? So here we can see that we have the classification given to us for the kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. So, given what we know about scientific naming and using what criteria to name, please select the most appropriate answer here. So take a moment, pause this video, give that a try. Moving on to question 7. 4 organisms are shown in the picture on the right, so that's over here. Which 2 are most closely related? So I suggest looking at their scientific names to help you out with it. And select the most appropriate answer, A, B, or C. So pause this video and select and make your selection. For question 8, you are asked to explain how you decided on your answer for the previous question. So the word explain here means to give cause and effect. So what made you decide what you decided up here? Give evidence of it. So give evidence to support your answer. So take a moment, pause the video, and write your response. Moving on. Scientific names for organisms are often derived from Latin or Greek root words that describe features of the organism. This table gives some common Latin and Greek terms and their meanings in English. So, for example, in Latin or Greek, the word acantha translates in English to either spiny or thorny. The Latin or Greek word of arctus translates to bear, aster to star, brevis translates to short, bufo translates to toad, cinereus is grey. The word macro means large, so we use this word quite a bit in science in general, not just for naming. The Latin or Greek word of marinus translates to marine. The word fascicle means pouch. The Latin or Greek word of pus translates to foot. The word spinous translates to black thorn. And the word tachy translates to fast. So, using the table above, use it to identify the scientific names or descriptions of these 4 animals here. So, if you need to, scroll back up to the table to assist you with the naming. The good thing about this activity is you have 4 organisms to label and you have 4 options on the side. So what I suggest, take a look at each of these scientific names and see if you can match them up. So if we first look at this one, so it's Bufo marinus. So if we look for the word bufo and the word marinus, it translates to something to do with a toad in marine or the water. So what I can see here is a marine toad. So what I'm going to do is just drag this where I think it belongs. So go ahead and do the same for the remaining 3. So pause this video to give that a try. Did you know? If you discover a new species, you are given the right to name it. You can give it any name, even your own, as long as it is unique and not rude. Scientists enjoyed naming 5 species of fungus beetle. These beetles are small and round. They were named Galebean, which sounds like jelly bean, Galebelle, jelly belly, Gale donut, jelly donut, Gale fish, jellyfish, and Gele roll, so a jelly roll. So for a lot of scientists, the prospect or even the thought of being able to name your scientific discovery of a new species is motivating enough. So these 5 species here were named after someone's incredible love of jelly or jelly-related foods. So for them, that was their motivation maybe. New species are being discovered all the time. Some of them don't even have names yet. If you take a look at this video down below, you'll see one way biologists are discovering new creatures in unexplored parts of the ocean. So go ahead and pause this recording, flick back to your work, and play that video to learn more. So, question 10. Imagine you have just discovered a new species. Describe or draw a picture of what your new species looks like. Give it a scientific name. You might like to use the table of Latin and Greek words above to help you name it. So what you can do here is select either to write a description of what your new species looks like. You can upload an image if you've created one elsewhere. You can open up the canvas and actually draw your own species, and you can label it to describe what it looks like or what its characteristics are. So there are an array of different ways you can show your response. Lastly, there's a bit of a reflection. So, question 11. Pretend that one of your classmates was absent today. They've messaged you to find out what they missed in class. Write a text message back to them, summarizing what you've learnt. Please avoid the temptation to write, "Nothing much, see you to Moz." So, I know the instructions here say to double-click or tap to begin typing, but a lot of students have had trouble with that. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you select this little button up the top, the text tool, what it does, it allows you to create a text box any way you like. So for example, we would like to start writing right about here. So you can start actually typing your response into it. And when you're done, all I'm going to ask you to do, down the bottom, you will see a little blue button that says, "I'm finished, show my teacher." Please be sure to hand it in. That way I can provide you with the feedback and the encouragement to help you with scientific naming really of different organisms.